Hola mis compadres, ¿cómo está? How y'all doing? Let's see. I believe this is episode 5. I mentioned before about that $15 Atlas, and there it is. Can't believe that gum Atlas is $15. Woo, me. And Google's a hell of a lot better, but you know, in 2005, 2006, we didn't have real good Google Maps. But what I want to talk to y'all about this time is my 5th trip down there. My wife and I had just gotten back. We haven't been back very long at all. A couple of weeks maybe. And my son had to have some dental work done, some serious dental work. He had to have all 4 wisdom teeth removed. And here, a dentist gave us a quote of $2,500. I told my son, I said, the hell with that, hop the truck, we're going back to Mexico. I told my wife, I said, I'm taking our boy to see Roberto's dentist. You know, family dentist they had for years and years and years. We ain't talking about, you know, you hear people talk about, oh my goodness, I would never go to Mexico, one of them border towns, get dental work done. I heard they a bunch of hacks. Well, hell, I don't know about that, but I do know that I trust my friends. And this ain't nowhere near a border town. Hell, this is 12 hours south of the border. And this is my buddy's family dentist that all his children went to, he and his wife, his parents, I mean the whole family. And in Hernandez, Jalisco is Dental Hernandez is the name. It's big letters on the side of the building, Dental Hernandez. And I know that he studied at the University of Guadalajara. His son, I believe, studied at UCLA. And his daughter-in-law, I believe, he told me was an American, and she also studied at UCLA or Mexico City. I forget which. But complete dental work there. I think they even made dentures. I might be needing them soon. Anyway, my son was in a bit of pain, and he had to have all 4 wisdom teeth cut out. So we drive down to Texas. And as soon as we crossed the Mexican border, I pulled up to a little old shack on the side of the road and got us a case of Tequila beers in a can. And my son was freaking out. I mean, it's just this little, looked like a guy's shed. He had the beer in there. And I asked him, I said, you know, could we get some limes and some salt? And he said, oh yeah. And he got out a brown piece of paper and he poured some salt in it, folded it up, and handed it to us. And he told his kid, he said, Niño, limones, vamos, limones. And my son's eyes are getting big. I think he was about 18-year-old. And he sees this little boy run out the corner of the lot there and pick limes fresh off the trees. And that's freaking my boy out. He said, Dad, did you see that? You know, we were driving down the road. He said, did you see that? He's picking limes off of trees down here. I said, bienvenidos a Mexico. Welcome to Mexico. And I got caught on that damn free road again, and we bounced around. I said, bienvenidos a Mexico. And later on, when we got down to Matawala, then I did transfer over to the toll road, which is a little bit better ride. But anyway, we get down to Hernandez and we get us a hotel room there at Santa Barbara Hotel, and I take him to the dentist, and he says, no problem, we'll take good care of him. And we went in for our appointment, and you know, not very long after that, here comes my son. And the dentist had given him a blister pack. I think it was 6 big pain pills. And he says, you take, you know, one of these every 12 hours as needed. And we thanked him and all that. He said, all right, come back, whatever day it was. Okay. Well, I had met my buddy's niece and some of her friends when I was at my buddy's in-laws. And my buddy's wife has, there's like 15 or 16 children in the family. And I asked her daddy, I said, Senor, when you were young, did you not have television? He said, sí, pero comerciales. He said, yeah, but there was commercials. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine 15, 16 kids? Well, me trying to use a camera to take a picture, I think it was 11 sisters. I think it was 11 of them. And I'm trying to take a photograph of them. And every time you try to click the photograph, one of them open her mouth, or one of them would laugh, or turn her head, or whatever. Trying to get 11 Mexican women to pose for the camera was like herding cats. It sounds like something that could be done, but it just ain't no way. So anyway, I told my buddy's niece, I said, we're going to be at the Hotel Santa Barbara tonight. Maybe some of y'all would like to come. I said, this is my son, you know, and you know, he doesn't know anybody down here. Sure. Well, we go down to the hotel, they got the music going on and all that, and 6 girls come in, all by themselves, to spend the evening with my boy. And it was so funny, because we had tequila, we had our Don Nacho tequila, and I told him, I said, you enjoy yourself. I said, I'm going to sit over here with this fella. And my son said, who is that? I said, this is Senor Don Nacho. I said, this gentleman is the owner of the distillery. He says, oh, wow. Well, my son's like 6'2", 6'3", blonde hair, blue eyes. And if you don't think them little dark-headed, brown-eyed girls didn't think he was cute, woo. Well, I told him, I said, man, enjoy yourself. How often do you get the opportunity to just relax and have a few drinks and cut up with a bunch of pretty girls? I said, you just, you know, he wasn't, my son was not married. And I said, just enjoy yourself. Well, the evening progressed, and I told him, I said, order whatever you want, it's fine, I've got it. He finally, a little bit later, he come to my table. I was calling Don Nacho, and he says, Dad, are you sure you've got my bill? I said, yeah. He said, well, the waiter was a little bit nervous about it. I said, well, don't worry about it. Just tell him everything's cool. And meanwhile, Don Nacho told the waiter, says, take another bottle of my tequila to their table. Bought the kids another bottle of tequila. Well, this went on from about 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night. And, you know, they were buying soft drink, you know, mixers and snacks and appetizers and crap, and just having themselves a big old time and dancing and carrying on and just laughing and drinking tequila and just loving life. And that's what I like about Mexico down there. Man, they celebrate life. They really do. And they don't need an excuse to have a party neither. I mean, it's like being in the military. Somebody got promoted, have a party. Oh, somebody got busted, man. Well, let's throw them a party. Hey, somebody's re-enlisted, let's have a party. Or somebody's getting out, well, let's have a party. I mean, they didn't need no excuse in Mexico to have a party. Well, got to be close to 11 o'clock at night, and it was a weeknight, I think. Maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, might have been a Friday night. Anyway, things were starting to wind down as far as the music, and because it was a hotel, so I guess some people might want to sleep. the waiter come up to me and says, "Senor, are you paying for that table right there?" And I said, "Yeah." Of course, he didn't say it in English, but that's what he meant. I said, "Yeah, ain't no problem." He says, "Senor, es mucho dinero. It's a lot of money." I said, "It's okay." Now, I don't know about y'all, but if we was partying in the United States and they're charging for every mixer, every setup, because you got your own bottle, and they charge you for every setup and everything you eat and all that kind of stuff, you can run up hundreds of dollars with 6 women, 1 man, in 4 hours. Well, this ticket came to a grand total of 690 pesos, which is about $60. And my buddy had told me that in Mexico, it's for good service, just like here, a 15% tip is, a good rule of thumb. So I gave the boy 100 pesos for a tip. He worked for 4 hours. And 100 pesos, imagine a peso is a dime. So 100 pesos is like $10. But there's 11 or 12 pesos to $1 at the time. So it's a little less than $10. And this kid freaks out. I mean, he freaked out because that's all he makes in a 12-hour day is $10 or 100 pesos. So he's freaking out, this tip he got. Anyway, we go from there, and Senor Don Nacho, he takes us down to another bar called Kuba Libre, Free Cuba. And we have drinks in there, and there's Cuban cigars. Matter of fact, I got 1 or 2 here somewhere. And hold on, let me see if I can find that. This is old. This has just been sitting in a little ceramic pot in there for, God, close to 10 years. Anyway, I don't know if you can see it on there, but it says Cuba Libre. Little Cuban cigar. Anyhow, we shut that place down, and my son said, "Dad, the girls all need a ride home." Okay. And we was in a pickup truck, and all of them lived in the same town where my buddy's niece lived, as Jesus Maria, 12 miles down the road. So we got me driving, my son in the front of the truck, and 6 girls in the front of the truck. Let me tell you what, that was a little bit packed. 8 people in the front seat of a pickup truck, and this wasn't no 4-door pickup truck. Anyway, we took them home, and everybody got home safe and sound. Well, I asked my son, I said, "Are you in any kind of pain?" He said, "No." I said, "That's amazing." I said, "Probably the tequila helped too." But anyway, he only took 1 of those pain pills. You talk about a good dentist. I mean, he didn't stitch him up. He didn't sew him up or nothing. He was just good. And I say he didn't sew him up. I don't think he did. But regardless, my boy had no pain. And he went back a couple of days later, and the dentist looked at him and says, "Yeah, you're good." He says, I want you to come back 1 more time. I want to check out before you go back home." He said, "Okay." And so I took my son around to different places, and we went sightseeing, and I let him see some of the sights. And that's when I took him to my buddy's it's when I took him to San Antonio de la Presa. This is the same lady that fed me the carp head soup. And I had taken my wife to see these folks, and then I took my son so he could see what it's like to live poor. And it was really an eye-opener for him. He didn't realize, how people lived that didn't have no money. And I think it really struck home with him, because he's become very frugal. He saves his money. He doesn't buy a bunch of crap like his mom and dad does. And I think it made a good impression on him. Well, after a few days of seeing the sights, we went back to see the dentist one last time. Dentist says, "Looks good." He told me, he said, that'd be $200. I was expecting maybe $500. Well, it'd be $200. I mean, to tell you, that's what I told my wife. I said, I can save enough money on this dental bill to pay for me and my boy to go to Mexico for a week or 10 days. So that's what happened. And we had a real good time, and don't want to wear you out on this episode. Boy, let me tell you, on episode 6 and 7, it's going to be a very exciting trip. And like my hat I got in Mexico. Adios. Actually, my daughter asked me to wear this hat when she got married. I wore this hat walking her down the aisle to give her away at her wedding. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day and a better tomorrow. Bye. Adios, muchachos.
Voy a cantar esta canción con mucho cariño de mi corazón a la República Dominicana, la casa del merengue y la casa de la bachata.